Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. This is my review for Put a Ring on It and also Ready to Love that came on Saturday. Happy Resurrection Sunday to everyone and whatnot. Okay. I was going to do this as a premiere video, but I did not have time to record it, so that is why we are live right now. Y'all know I will be live tonight because there's a versus tonight between Cece and BB Winans versus Mary Mary is at 9:30 p.m. tonight Eastern time. So y'all know when that versus is over, I will for sure be doing my typical, usual after show chit chat on JayLee's Corner. So whenever the versus end, come on over here so we can discuss what went on. Okay, I will also be live probably tomorrow for the whole wrong button for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I have not even watched the episode yet, but I'm gonna try to get that live out to y'all with that review out to y'all sometime either tomorrow morning or tomorrow after I get off of work. Okay, but right now we are on here about the whole Put a Ring on It and Ready to Love, which I think both of them were good episodes last night, but we shall see how everybody feels and whatnot. But again, happy Sunday. When I tell you, I just rushed home because my live was supposed to be at I think 5:30 and I wasn't back home yet, and I pushed it to 6:15. Didn't get on here till around 6:20. Okay, but again, I am here and we'll have a good time nonetheless. And then that'll be that. So do not forget to do a couple of things to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dots, and dot. Okay, y'all know it's always a good thing to subscribe to those you watch on the regular. So I know y'all be watching me, so go ahead and subscribe to this channel here. Okay, you can also like the video, which you always do. Okay, comment in the comment section because this is what a conversation between me and y'all. Okay, hit the little share button to share on your social media too. You can follow me on IG and Twitter at JayLeesCorner. Okay, now look, I am here. Okay, I am here and everything and whatnot, but let's get started on this today. I'm hoping my signal don't go dumb, because sometimes it do. And when it do, I will just pop off screen. Okay. Hello to those watching live already. Thank you to those who are here, but also thank you to those who will be watching the replay as y'all always do. And I always appreciate it. Okay. And yes, please thumbs up the video. Okay. But hello to everyone here so far. The episode let's start with Ready to Love. Okay, Ready to Love. Look, it's only the season finale is coming on next week. Honey, I can't wait for the reunion of this foolishness this season. I feel like when they had that one season where they were at all the contestants were like at the same place, like a little resort or whatever. To me, that was the best season because we were able to see folks hanging around and dating or whatever. Honey, this season, I feel like we didn't see anybody dating. We didn't see anyone, getting closer to each other. I felt like all we seen was a couple of meetups of groups of people and not much more than that. So it's a bit aggravating this season, but I'll let that be. So we do know the final four men. Okay, meet up with time. This is Paul. Okay, Demetrius, Donovan, and Clifton. Now I remember episode 1. I promise y'all, I assumed Paul would have been sent home first. I don't know how the hell Paul made it to the end. I'm like, how the hell did he get here? How is he here for the episode before the season finale? I was like, I don't know. Now I always knew Clifton would. I said I predicted Clifton, Joy, and Sabrina will probably be at the end. Okay, I said folks don't like them people. I may have also said Demetrius because people liked him in the beginning. But whatever. But I did not think, not for 1 minute at all, that Paul's POS will still be here this late in the game. But all the men is meeting up with Tommy to Chit and to chat. Let's see, wait. The reunion is gonna be crazy. I want to see the kid, girl. Agreed. Loved them when they all stay at the resort, so we saw everything right. So it's weird that we're not seeing enough That's how I feel. We ain't seen enough of what's going on. I hope next season, because we know it's gonna be next season. I hope next season is more of a put them all together somewhere, okay? And it don't even have to be a resort on the island somewhere. Put them up at a hotel. Get a big old mansion. Who has a big house? Get Get 50 Cent huge. The 50 Cent got a huge mansion somewhere. Get a whole little mansion that got, you know what I'm saying, 15 bedrooms or whatever. Put them all in a mansion together. They have to live there, okay, for the month or two and be date. And then put cameras there. That's what I want to see. Okay. This little thing, if we only meet up at the club or meet up for drinks or whatever. No, I need to see more. More. Okay. So the final four men who are talking with Tommy, they're told they have to introduce, a lady. Pick which lady you want to meet, a person in your family. Now, they didn't say it did not have to look, it did not have to be your mama. As long as it's someone who is related to you, that's who they need to see. Okay. And I was like, I guess so. So Tommy also tells them how he is not hurting Tina, how Tina also stood him up. I'm like, look, let Tina be with Tina at, and Tina's over there. Okay, leave Tina be. We don't care no more. Forget her. Um, let's see. I didn't like the resort season. I think the second season in Atlanta and the second season in Houston were really good. This season didn't seem like there were a lot of genuine connections. Joy and Clifton is the only one I see. I think a lot of folks agree with that too. That about Clifton and Joy being the only real match around here. Now, Paul brings up how he wish he would have nurtured other connections outside of Tina because he feel like once he was like kind of focused on Tina, he wasn't focused on anybody else. So now that Tina's out the picture, he wants to focus on the kid because again, he said Carmen is no longer on his radar. I'm like, you think? Because Carmen, you girl. Carmen. And Demetrius brings up how he wants Sabrina and him to have a conversation or whatever, but he wants her to also meet his mom. And I'm like, well, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Because we know Sabrina been saying all season, one of her top connections is Demetrius. It's Demetrius this and to me, she's put Demetrius over anybody else. So it made sense to me, that he also felt like I want her to meet my mom because that's a person. And again, every season we see the same thing. You have to meet an ex, you have to meet a family member, you have to meet a really good friend. So that's a part of the journey, okay, in my opinion. I liked the resort season. I think it was hidden cameras catching people sneaking into the rooms. It was messy. Sabrina, we don't get to that. Tracy, I do. To me, I love the resort season because it's like if you're going to do a dating show, where you want us to think towards the end, these folks have these connections, but no one has seen how they formed. It's boring, and we don't understand it. So it doesn't even have to be an actual resort, but you need to put these people together so we can see them at all times. Okay, real world. Anyway, we do see Clifton and Joy. Okay, Clifton has Joy meet. Now I don't have any photos of the family members. They don't care. It don't matter. But again, boom, Clifton and Joy meet his cousin and his uncle. It was older folk. I thought it was his mom and his daddy. That's what I thought. It was his older cousin, who was a female, and then his uncle. And I believe he brought up how it was a family member from each side of his pocket, on the daddy side and the mom side. Fine. But again, I'm not gonna, his parents. Oh, that's nice. Oh no, it's uncle. Okay. Anyway, so they both bring up, and that's both Clifton and Joy, how they both are extremely comfortable with each other. She brought up how he checked out my boxes, without me having to ask him to do this or to do that, or for me to, say what I was looking for. Like he checked the boxes that I had been looking for in general, and I felt comfortable being with him, and I like that man. Okay. Also, she brought up how, I think one of them brought up how, I think the cousin asked about kids because he has two kids. It was two or three, but only a few. And she's like, I like kids too. I'm great with kids. It's fine by me. And even though we have not seen Clifton and Joy like off camera, I still feel like we've seen enough to know they have a connection versus other folks. Even right here, they look like they could be a couple. Things can be going on around there. However, the weird part is I still feel something within Clifton that feels like He's not ready because he wants things his way, and mainly that became with them talking about how they have to be that they have to balance being together because 6 months out the year she's in Mexico working and she's a singer. So for 6 months she's in Mexico, whatever, and so that's a thing that may be an issue. And for me, I feel like Clifton had more concern about that than she did. I think because he wants her to be with him, like he wants her to be around him or whatever. He needs closeness and touch and hugs or whatever. And her thing is like, for my career, I'm gone, for 6 months of the year, and that is a hard, strenuous situation to deal with. It's extremely. It's also hard when it's like a whole relationship. But a part of me feel like it's more of him who doesn't want her to be there. That may hinder their relationship. Now, his family they like Joy. The Joy to me is a cool chick. Joy to me is somebody who gets along well with people, and I don't think that the issue between them would be, oh, Joy is the one who may mess this or that up. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But they also bring up how hopefully that distance won't break them up. I said, I hope it won't. Let's see, I said the same thing. I thought they were. I was like, is that this mom and his daddy? Okay, but it's like whatever. Anyway, we then sing Sabrina. And who was Sabrina? Was it Sabrina? Yes, Sabrina and Donovan. Baby, look, these two in their conversation, I was like, do y'all hate each other? Like, did y'all fight one day and we just did not know it? Because it felt very, I'm going to beat your ass real quick right now. I'm saying it felt very, I'm saying, what you here for? I was like, y'all is not getting along, and we can tell. Okay, so Sabrina and Donovan, meet up. Now they brought up how they had not talked much since that brunch, where Tommy asked for, what do you like or don't like, or what do you see not working or whatever, and she brought up how she don't think he ready, which, as we now know, it made him upset. He was a little bit pissed off, and I was like, Now Donovan brings up how he feels that Sabrina did not respect the process for him, even though he respected it for her. And what he meant was, you want me to respect the fact that you, have more than one connection, but you don't want to respect the fact that I have more than one connection as well. And then he brought up how you saying that I was not ready for love was offensive to me, because I came here to find someone to be honest and consistent or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? You have not been that to me. You have not been honest and consistent with me. I don't think you've been that way with Demetrius either. And they look, the tension between them two, I was like, is y'all gonna or they gonna look, either fight or fuck, one of the two. But it was weird to me just how far it seems their connection has gone away, and now they decent. And another reason I think is weird is because I think Sabrina had this same issue with Tori, when Tori felt like they had a good connection. And then she was like, well, I like Demetrius as well. So you think, calm down, calm down, calm down. And then she felt like, well, you don't get, I like somebody else. And then you feel some kind of way. I think this is the same disagreement with Donovan. Donovan just seems more hostile right now. He's talking. And Sabrina is making it seem like he's being a big baby. And I don't think he was being a baby. A part of me do feel like Sabrina was on bullshit. And I felt that before even seeing the end of the episode, which we'll get to later. But when he said, I don't think you've been like, honest and consistent with me or Demetrius, I'm like, what that mean? I'm like, because is it that she makes people feel like they have a connection, and then she'll have a conversation with them and say, well, it's not you, I like so and so else, and you knew that. And again, it's the same thing that happened with Tori. Her and Tori is supposed to have a good connection. She then went and kissed Demetrius on the cheek or whatever, and Tori was shocked. The same way on this trip they were on, the weekend trip, Donovan felt like she was spending more time with Demetrius, and he didn't understand that. And then she kind of was not happy with him questioning that. So Sabrina moved a little flaw to me. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Now, again, Sabrina brought like he's acting really bitter, like a baby acting childish or whatever. And men can handle when women have more than one connection. And The weird part for me is I don't think Donovan's real issue is that she had more than one connection. How he's talking to her, how he's handling it can seem like that's what it is, but I don't think that's what it is. I really feel like they think she'll say one thing and do another, and that makes them aggravated. And I do feel like Sabrina will just use the excuse of, well, you knew I like so and so too. It's like, yeah, but you moving flaw. You still moving different than how you were moving before. And then when she brings up how I've always told you I had a connection with Demetrius or whatever, that's what it was. And the reason when Donovan said, we had a connection, and I also have one with Carmen. But my consistency never wavered with you based on my like of Carmen. And I think his point is Sabrina will change how she's moving and don't really say why until the guys bring it up. And then when she brought up how, because she then kind of admitted and said again, said, well, I did grow distant from you because of your connection with Carmen. So I'm like, I was confused because you can't say that men are uncomfortable with you having more than one connection, but then say, because you had a connection with me and also Carmen, I started moving differently. I grew distant from you because you had another connection. I'm like, but that's what you said. I was confused. So again, Sabrina is moving flawed in my opinion. The point of the show is to date multiple people. You're supposed to make multiple connections. But again, with the season finale being this week, by now you could have picked someone who you liked more. And saying that you grew distant from him because he also liked somebody else is stupid. If he's saying, I wasn't acting funny towards you, even though I knew you liked somebody else, but you weren't consistent with me. Something like, I'm just confused or whatever. And so when she brings up how you told me that if I couldn't tell you who I was going to choose between you and Risa, whatever, that you would choose Carmen over me, and that's how I felt going into the weekend trip. And I'm like, I do think at some point you're supposed to tell the person you want to pick, I'm leaning towards you. I don't think anyone should be going into decision day not knowing who they want to focus more time on. Because at that point, you are wasting someone's time. You should not be dating two people come, decision day. Like that ain't when it should happen. So it's weird. Now Donovan's like she lied. She lied on me or whatever. I never told her that she had to tell me who it was or whatever. I'm saying he was over the whole conversation the whole time. Because to me, I felt like the argument and stuff that happened at that brunch, them not talking since the brunch, and how he came in there with a whole full-fledged attitude, I felt like he was over it. And I think Sabrina came in it thinking, you petty, you angry or whatever on bullshit. I also don't want to have to explain myself to you. So, he was like, all right, I wish you well. No, he said, I'm going to pursue Carmen. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then she then said, I wish you well. I was like, honey, it's kind of crazy. And she felt like I did not do anything wrong to him, so I don't get why he has attitude, with me. Even his best friends, he was an asshole. He is an asshole. And I'm not saying Donovan ain't an asshole. I ain't saying that. But I also feel like Sabrina wants to play innocent in this, and I don't think she's innocent. I do feel like Sabrina made each guy feel they were her number one. And then when she felt to stop having that feeling and the guy got pissed off, she would make it seem as if they were the ones jumping again. It's the same shit that happened with Tori that is now happening with Demetrius. Okay, the difference is Tori was too high to be upset. Sabrina is mad that they saw through her games. They let her send home two people, and she thinks she's Tommy's goddaughter. Sabrina wasted the 3 dudes' time. Honey wasted a whole playing games around here. And the bad part is, I feel like people will probably try to support her just based on Donovan having negative energy. But I still feel like his negative energy was because of how she played the whole situation. And like, don't play in my face and then expect me to be all nice to you. No. I am over you not acknowledging the part you played in playing me. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been honest about shit. And I was like, honey, she sure haven't. But let's move on. Okay. Paul and the kid meet up for a little date. And he wants to clear the air since the brunch. Because the brunch is when Carmen went on and said, oh, he said that and he said this or whatever. And he said her body, all this shit that I did not even believe, because I feel like Carmen was alive from the pits of hell. Anyway, blue-eyed devil. So he tells her how, look, I did have a private conversation with Carmen. And in that conversation, Carmen asked me, what type of women do I like, intimately, sexually, whatever. What's my taste? And he said, I told her that I like the type of woman who gives you fire when she walks in the room. But I said this last week on the panel, I said Paul and her were probably talking, and Carmen probably asked him stuff in general. He replied in general, and then she pointed it out to be as if he was speaking about the kid. And he then said, when I said, like, I want someone who has fire or whatever, Carmen then asked him, oh, well, does the kid do that for you? Now, when he said, well, my reply was, like, that's not your business, I don't think that's what he said. I think he probably just did not answer the question and implied maybe the kid wasn't, but I don't think he said, like, the kid in general. But to me, I still feel like Carmen was flawed because she made it seem as if Paul was sitting around dogging the kid. And even though I don't think Paul, I still think Paul is, his lines are like, from a 1970s black exploitation movie. I still don't see him sitting around discussing the other women, because we've never seen him do that before. But we have consistently seen Carmen have conversation with every man speaking negatively about the other women. So I'm like, I don't believe Carmen at all. Not at all. I think she took the conversation and twisted it how she wanted it to look to try to hurt the kid. And the kid brought up how, I'm saying, it's fine. Like, I don't trust her, whatever. I don't believe her. I like that the kid then said, well, if she's the kind of woman you want, I'm not the one for you. Okay, that's not even me. And he said, no, I don't want her at all. And the kid brought up how I feel like, she's always had it out for me since here, and I agree. She also brought up how she found her body. Her body was made in the gym, and her body was not made on the surgery table like Carmen's. And I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. Now, even though he said he wished, oh my God, even though he wished that he had taken more time to get to know the kid, he is still the end of the game. And for me, it's still like I don't feel like Paul and the kid should be on the finale, because the point of the show isn't to get folks married. The point of the show is not to be married by the end of the season. It is to find someone that you can keep dating once the show ends. So I don't mind, but a part of me just don't feel like Paul and the kid can be a couple. And even though he then said, well, hey, I want you to be my family, mainly because that's the next thing on the show. Not that he's like, hey, because I like you so much, I want. It's like, no, that's the show is doing that, not him. And she's like, I think it's a bit soon, but it's a bit too early, but again, I'll do that. And so she did meet up with his brother. So, with Paul the kid and the brother was like, what are your thoughts on, like, on being led and, reciprocation. And she's like, I lead at work all day. So when I get home, I want to be able to put that leading hat down and have the man, around me be the leader. And as far as, giving back the same energy, that's fine by me. And the brother brought up how he wants someone who can have mutual respect for Paul. And I was like, whatever. And the brother feels like the kid had, textbook responses. Not bad responses at all, but like textbook. I'm like, yeah, your brother also has textbook lines. Like, Paul really do talk like somebody who has just 1,001 replies to a person. I'm not saying Paul doesn't seem genuine. I'm saying Paul just has memorized things that fits conversations. He also, to me, seems very prepared on how to woo a woman with words. But I also want to see Paul be able to follow through on his words, and I haven't seen that yet. So, I mean, that's on him. And the kid brings up how for her, she still get a friendship vibe from Paul, and she just wonders if they're like forcing a connection or if it just needs more time to develop. I think it's being forced. because they're the last two left. Not that Paul may not like her, but I don't see the kid liking Paul like that. And he made this be a good friend. But again, Paul is always prepared with bullshit lines, in my opinion. Um, and that's that on that. But I don't wish them to not be together. I don't wish that. I just hope that if they do get together, he don't keep hitting her lines. Now we then see Donovan, who introduces his mom to Carmen. I don't like them together. I just feel like I fully don't like Carmen solely based on the comments that she's made about the other women in her confessional. And I know each show, it's a reality show. So you want to bring like a little bit of, mess, okay? But the consistency of her speaking so negatively on the other women in the competition show as if she's better than them aggravates me. And I rarely have heard her speak highly of anybody else on the show. And while this isn't a show for anybody to become best friends, it's a special place in my heart to not like people who I feel like really think they're better than, and like to sit around and think, who can I pick on? Who can I sit and pick apart? And I feel like from the beginning, she was picking apart the kid. And that aggravates me because if you are really that bitch, you don't have to speak negatively about anybody else because you stand out. But she has consistently spoke just rude in nasty comments about other women, and that's some bull of the shit. Okay, anyway, so Donovan introducing Carmen to his mama. Um, the fact that Carmen came in with her tits covered, you know what I'm saying, she left her blue eye contacts at home or whatever, it proves to me Carmen likes attention with her cooch. And she know when to come in looking like a blue-eyed devil, okay? Because you could have she when she met anybody else the first time, she always wore the blue contact. But to me, his mom, she can't dress as if, oh, I'm just a nice young woman. I like your son. And I'm like, but that ain't who you are. Okay, that ain't who you are. And because y'all know when she went and met Paul friend, she came in there with no bra on, her nipples was on hard, the blue contacts in or whatever, and she came in there with sexual energy. And I'm like, why would you need sexual energy to meet his friends? So to come and meet, Donovan's mom, and you had a completely different type of aura, to me means you fake. To me means you will put on different hats around different folks. I want to be who I am regardless of who I'm meeting. You're gonna always meet me. It don't mean I'm gonna walk in and say, hey, I suck dick. But at the same time, you giving two different people. Okay, two different people. Anyway, she didn't come in leading her coochie to meet that man mama. The mama brings up how when she raised Donovan, she raised him with a lot of values and morals, and she instilled that in her son by her actions. So she's like, how do you show your son morals and values by your actions? And while I feel like she didn't give a full-fledged answer, she did say how, when she grew up, it was just her mom, like they didn't have much or whatever. So she liked to show her son how people live different ways based on how she grew up and based on how he's growing up now. And she brings up how Carmen brings up how her son had not seen his father in about 8 years. So again, it's just her and him. Um, and it was weird to me because the conversation they showed us had nothing to do with Carmen and Donovan. It was about Donovan, who seemingly wasn't, did not have his dad in his life. And the mama bringing up how, he felt like Donovan's father could have been a better person, could have been a better influence had he realized how great Donovan was. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what does this have to do with the private tea in China? I was confused on like it had nothing to do with these two people. Um, I was just confused. And Carmen wooed the mama. The mama liked her. And I'm like, I don't know how. How do you like Carmen? I was so confused. Let's see. I think Popo and Daki are just friends who are just sticking together until the end. That's a good possibility. I also feel Daki has a could get a responses. Donovan and Carmen are weird match to me. I think it's just sexual energy between them. Carmen was a different woman. She was, and I don't like anyone who is different around different folk. I feel like that means I can't trust you. Okay, you may be flawed. You may be on BS, and I can't trust you. But yeah, I was surprised his mama liked her so much because I was like, but Carmen's like a bit of a Jezebel, a harlot. And I'm not saying she's a whore, not saying that. But what I'm saying is she just move weird to me. And how she moves isn't consistent with someone who I would want my son with. But again, they have to see that themselves. But I'm leave that be. Um, because we also know that some folk are able to make really great impressions on the first time because they being fake. Okay. Um, Carmen was playing the game just to get to the end and not caring about anyone else. I agree with that as well because it's always on some B of the S if you ask me. My signal is weird. So I hope y'all can hear me because for some reason my signal was on one notch. And I'm like, why? Because I ain't even do nothing. So we do see Sabrina and Demetrius meet up. And I'm like, Sabrina is busy, busy, busy bee. Now, for the most part, they was meeting up for Demetrius to ask her about her meeting his mom or meeting his family. Okay, because again, that is the agenda for this particular episode. And y'all can hear me. Okay, good. Let's see. Maybe Donovan's mom was the type of woman that Carmen. Ooh, wow. Maybe Donovan's mom was the Carmen back in the day. I hope not, because she seemed nice, but Carmen just seemed to me that she fooled his mama. Okay, and again, I also be thinking about how the fact that we base our opinions on conversations no one on the show has heard yet. So the Carmen that we see isn't the Carmen that they see. So it's kind of different. Um, but with Demetrius and Sabrina meeting up, he wanted to kind of talk to her a little bit and also invite her to meet his family. But she brings up how she has concerns with them before. Like she was talking and saying a lot of words. I wasn't listening. So I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Okay. But she gets to the point of saying, like, I just have concerns about us moving forward and I want to discuss that. And she said she feels that there's a power dynamic between them and that could be an issue. I think she feel like he wants someone submissive and he wants to be like the dominating person in, the relationship. And he like, well, I thought we had this conversation already, because I thought we were past this. He like, look, I told you I do not need or want someone submissive. You know what I'm saying? Again, I ain't said that shit. A friend did, okay? I want, a woman who has her own sense of self. So he's saying to her verbally, like, what you saying that you think I want, I'm telling you, that ain't what it is. So I don't get the issue we have here. He said, but he also like, I want to see what she means and I'm gonna listen to. And so she brings up, I just think that you want someone who will move how you move. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by being submissive. And I'm like, I can see her point and you not wanting to be with somebody who think you have to consistently follow their lead and do things how they want to do. But that isn't being submissive, in my opinion. And I feel like the thing that he's saying to her is saying, I don't need you to do what I do. So she then moved that conversation to saying how he would want his wife, if he was to get married again, he would want his wife to take the last name. And he like, well, yeah, but that's not, like some crazy submissive or that's like a normal thing. And she said, but is it normal? Like, what if your wife doesn't want to take the last name because I did not take my husband's last name when I was married before? And he said, well, that would just be a conversation. I'm saying because, we get married to, for us to kind of become, a couple, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm saying, are you trying to stay, an individual and as yourself, or are you trying to, come together and have this marriage? And this is my thing about last name shit. I think it's definitely worth the conversation. We know many people who get married and they don't legally change their name because they don't want to. But I do think it's a conversation thing. But I don't think it's such a abnormal thing for you to make it seem as if he wants someone to do what does he want someone to do. I'm like, that's not. That is a normal thing that has happened for years. For someone wanting that isn't abnormal to me, but I felt like she was trying to make that an issue too. And then I was like, I was over the whole conversation because at this point I'm like, she picking that straw, like she's picking that shit, and I just didn't understand why she was making something out of nothing. Because again, I think he wants somebody to submit. He like, but I don't. She then said, okay, but you want this. That's like, I'm like, but that's not what it is. He then went about how he wants the last. I'm like, that ain't. So like, it was actually just in the air, like just picking out shit. The first, I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was just crazy for me. But he did bring up how, well, for me, it would be a conversation because, again, for me, it's a priority that if I get married again, I would want my wife to have my last name. And I'm like, for me, that isn't a deal breaker. For me. And to me, it was weird that she just kept nitpicking and shit, okay? And so I'm like, okay, they squashed, it's fine or whatever. They had a conversation. It should be fine. And so he then suggests, hey, my family's in town, so I wanted you to be my family. And she's like, well, I don't think we're in that place yet. And I was like, what? And the only reason I was confused is because that wasn't a suggestion he had because he likes you so much. He think marriage is next. We know that's a part of the show. So I was like, she's saying no as if he wants them to meet the parents so they can get married. And I'm like, it's show shit. So at that, I was like, Sabrina on some bullshit. I'm like, does anybody get that Sabrina's on some bullshit? Sabrina's on some bullshit, okay? But we then see the four men meet back up with Tommy to discuss all everything that happened. And, Clinton brings up how his time met Joy was fine. It was amazing. His time he loved her. They just wonder if her working in Mexico half the year will cause issues between them. And again, I still feel like Clifton would be the one who would have had issues with Joy working half the year in Mexico. Paul brings up how his meeting with the kid and the brother went well. And the brother feel like, she is someone he needs in his life. Now, Tommy was like, what did you see in the kid that you didn't see in your other connections or whatever? Because, again, it's like this is a new thing between you and her, and you would never spoke about liking her until recently. So what makes you think now is the time to be with her? And then he said, well, since she's straightforward, to the point or whatever, like what you see is what you get. And the other women were not like that. And, he just didn't figure it out. And Tommy, for him, is like, I need you to not be lying. I need you to not be talking to her just to make it to the end because what's going on? And he's like, nah, I like her. It was his timing and, my schedule that did not allow me to get to know her sooner. But again, I like her now. And I'm like, well, at least Tommy asked the question or whatever. Donovan brings up his meeting with Sabrina was not good and how she won't own up to the back and forth between him and Demetrius. And she did not want to just say, hey, I'm on bullshit a little bit between both of you men. He brings up how this late in the game, she should have been able to say who she wanted more. And I 100% agree with that. I don't think we at a point in this game where anyone should have two people. I don't think, now is the time to still say, I don't know. No, this is time to say, what? I do like so-and-so more, okay? But she keep saying, I don't know who I want the most between them both. So she not going to own up to that back and forth bullshit. And so he going to move on with Carmen. And, Carmen met his mom, and mom loved Carmen. Okay. Demetrius then brings up how he also talked to Sabrina and how she declined to meet his family. He's like, what? She declined? And he's like, yeah, I asked, and she brought up how, she said she still needed to see where we could go, and she didn't see the point of her meeting my people. So Tommy said, okay, well, you meet up with her, have a conversation, and then you decide if y'all should continue on, because it makes no sense to send any other female home if Clifton good with Joy, if Donovan is good with Carmen, and if Phil wants the kid, the only piece here to see who can go home is between you and Sabrina. And so cool. Honey, and when these two met up, girl, first I say this bitch here. First of all, like the video. because liking is the thing to do. Okay, so Sabrina and Demetrius meet up for the second time for him to have the conversation on where they should go from now and what we should do and if we like it. And the thing about it is they both were dressed nice. I don't think he was being mean or rude. I think it was okay, let's see where this can go. Whatever. You said he like went met with Tommy, whatever. I told him how you declined to be my people. And then she brings up how, well, you know what, in my family, the parents don't meet boyfriends. He said my father would not meet a man I'm dating until he wants to marry me, and me you ain't there yet. And I'm like, why would your family not want to know the man that you're dating until y'all to get married? I was like that. What if he's crazy and deranged? So to me, that's different or whatever. So again, it just felt like she was making up more excuses to why she does things how she does things or whatever. She then brings up how we also like there's an emotional disconnect that I can't. I'm like an emotion disconnect that she says she can't overlook. Okay, and she then said out her own mouth, "I don't feel like you're my person." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, Sabrina played everyone, and this is why. From the beginning, Sabrina liked Demetrius and Tori. Kate kept saying that. The night of who you want to be with, kiss, hug, or whatever, she went over and she kissed Demetrius, saying that's who she has the strongest connection to, even though everyone else thought it was Tori. Okay? She then talked to Tori and told Tori, well, no, I like you and him, and he's, up my top. When Tori, backed off and left, it was because she then liked Demetrius and Donovan. Okay? She then told Donovan, well, you on bullshit because you can't handle me having a stronger connection with Demetrius. In the pool in jacuzzi, when Joy said, hey, you should kiss on Donovan. No, you can kiss on Demetrius because Tori gone. And she then said, well, no, I don't want to do that because I also like Donovan. At every turn, she would switch who she liked more. And I was like, that's confusing. And so in the last conversation with Donovan, you then was like, you pissed because I have a strong connection with Demetrius. And now with Demetrius, you're telling him that one, he can't meet your family at all unless y'all get married. Two, there's an emotional disconnect that you can't overlook. And then three, he ain't your person. And he was shocked. He was like, what? Oh, okay. I thought we were still building a connection, which we all thought too. Sabrina played everyone. Everyone. And that is why, in my opinion, Donovan was upset because he knew this is what she had been doing the whole girl. I was like, hoodwinked and bamboozled. What? What? No. Yeah, Sabrina came on the show to play. And she got to the end and she played everyone. And then said, also, not only, am I saying that you're not my person, I'm going to send myself home. Okay. I've made the decision based on how I feel. I'm going to remove myself from this show and go home. Okay. And then told him, because you also knew that you had reservations too. Okay. And I can't make my decision based on what could happen in the future. I'm like, that's not true. That's how decisions are made. You make a decision thinking in the future, this will get better. In the future, I will love, because no one goes into anything thinking I'm going to start dating this person right now because I like them. You think that you're going to grow to like them more. It's weird that she kept saying all season how much she liked him to only come to the end and then say, you know what, you're not my person. Nah, not you. She played everyone, and he like she's been playing the whole time. She's been playing the game. I was like, she has, very much so, because the whole season, I like. Why do people? That's not nice. I don't know. I mean, he's not ugly. He isn't. I do think sometimes he doesn't look good in the photos. I know before Bonnie brought up how his beard is too thick. He do need to, cut that beard down a little bit. But I don't think he's, not attractive. Because he look him right here in this little thing where it looked like he's, trim that beard down, a better looking suit, and he looks handsome right here. I like him right here, right here. But right here is a little bit different, okay? So Sabrina played everyone to the end. Sabrina sent herself home, and I think she did that because she felt like she was about to be eliminated. So for her, it was easier for her to say, you know what, I'm going to self-eliminate, and I'm gonna tell you that you not my person, okay? And we're gonna be together, and I'm gonna leave you here because he was like, oh, okay, I guess that's what it is. Now I guess it is, okay. But let's move into the next show, which is of course put a ring on it. But give me a little second to get some water, okay? Oh, I was talking, honey, I'm thirsty. But I am back. Let's see. I wonder the same thing about Demetrius. Oh, not why people think he I don't think he's ugly. Let's see. She's very strategic. That's why I believe she did what Laverne said she did. Oh, when Laverne was saying how they kind of plotted to get him off the show. Oh, that may be true because he was the one saying that he was told by Precious that they tried to get him off the show. And now seeing how if I feel like she played the game to I like she played the game to make it to the end and then she was the one who made the decision to leave. So I mean, we never know. Okay, we never know. But put a ring on it, episode or I don't know. Episode 4. This season is like dangerous. I feel like none of these couples should be together, and I don't know why they're together. Whatever, but against Valentine. Otis, Charlena, Alfonso, Shay, crazy ass Kenneth, and then Shorty. I need to make that picture a little bit smaller so you can kind of see me over here. We see the episode picks up with Otis still fussing with Dr. Nicole, feeling like, Charlena had these issues that she feel like something's happening when it isn't happening, and that's what we should be discussing. And we like, no, and he was being such a rude asshole, because he felt like, well, the Dr. Nicole is not, acknowledging when I'm right. I'm like, this thing, it's not about being right or wrong. Otis comes off as an abusive, manipulative, arrogant narcissist who has been able to make people believe he's a good guy, but he isn't. And the more he's being shown to be this imperfect jerk, he's getting more aggravated about that. Not saying Charlena may not have her issues as well within their relationship, whatever, but I'm like, no, he's the worst to me. Okay. It's just like aggravating or whatever. And and to me also, I think him saying he was gonna do a second date with Milan was just to kind of piss Charlena off. At this point, both Charlena and Otis are being tit for tat with each other because he said, well, yeah, I'm gonna have another date with Milan. And then Charlene brings up how great her date was with Brent. Is it Brent or Brett? I think it was Brett. had a great day with Brett, and how, the conversation was just flowing or whatever. He's a great listener. And again, you can tell that she was also speaking in a way to where I want to make Petty as Otis jealous. I want to make him upset. And I'm going to just brag about this man because I think she knew he wouldn't like it. And they're both sitting there stewing in their unhappiness with the other ones. I'm like, why y'all together? Why are y'all here? I think everyone should go home. Okay. And she also said she wants a second date with old boy. And they both say to each other, I hope you enjoy your date. I hope you. I'm like, what is and Dr. Cole was like, we have to have a conversation about how y'all communicate, because y'all tit for tat antics or whatever is not gonna work. It's gonna be worse. Because you can tell both of them was just saying stuff to make the other one be upset. All these couples need to walk away from the relationship. Completely agree. When Otis was cutting or trying to cut out Nicole, I wanted to slap him and say, "Shut up and listen." Otis just doesn't respect him. He doesn't, and you can tell that by how he was so blatantly disrespectful to Nicole, because he was ignoring her, rolling his eyes, and like kind of cutting her off, just being dismissive. And I've said before that Dr. Nicole, I'm so short, y'all, and I be having to jump up my chair. The Dr. Cole gives advice in a way that is to disarm someone who's defensive, because no one wants to feel like I'm the one being poked and attacked about what my issues are. And she has a way of having a conversation that you should not feel attacked. And he still was attacked because he don't respect women. And he don't feel like he does anything wrong, in my opinion, okay? So I don't like old Otis, okay? Old petty ass Otis gets on my goddamn nerves or whatever. Shorty and Kenneth talk, and she brings up how she had a good day with Hollywood. I still don't feel like her and Hollywood had any kind of connection. I still feel like because he was on season 1 and people liked him, I think it was like, oh, I like him more than, I could date him. The conversation they had was fine. But I was like, yeah, I really have a good connection or whatever. And it's weird that she brought up that Hollywood was a good listener. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm letting it be. She also brings about she did not want a third date with him, mainly because we had such a good connection. I don't want to, go too far in that. So I'm gonna pull it back and not do a third date. And I still to this day don't feel like Hollywood did not like her like that. I feel like Hollywood just was okay being on the show. And we all know that in current time, he has a whole girlfriend who they be on social media together. So when I seen the little preview for the season, I'm like, Hollywood. I'm like, but he's with someone now. And I'm like, is she on the show? I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, oh no, he dating no other girl. But I was like, girl, no. Yeah, they weren't a match at all. And it was awkward because when he said to her, so why did you want a second date with me? I felt like it came from a place of, because we not really, a connection at all. But I do think she probably wanted to have conversation with him because it's fun. He's handsome. He probably smells good or whatever. But I didn't think it had anything to do with like a connection between them as like a couple. Kenneth brings up his date with my agent was fine. They had a good time or whatever I'm saying. When he said, I'm gonna have a good time because I'm a good person and anybody around me will have a good time. I'm not into you crazy, you're crazy ass like yourself in the room with a phone. Get on my face. But he decided he did not want a second date with her because for him, his only goal is Shorty. And I'm like, then why are you here? Because we know that ain't how the show go. That's the same thing Hollywood tried to do on his season or whatever. He did not want to entertain the dates. He would go on one date and that's it, but not even really try to enjoy it. And it's like that ain't how things can go. You have my house shoes. I wouldn't say you have to attempt to even enjoy the dates to get the full process of the show. So I was like, sir, don't do that. And then with Shannon Alonzo, Shay consistently brings up these scenarios that they've been through to where he has done something completely either disrespecting her, disregarding her, or just ignoring her. But she never brings up any chances or any instance where she left him based on a fucked up thing he did. She said, well, he was, you know, she said one time a girl walked to him or whatever and asked him for some money. He gave her the money. One time before, some girl kept calling his name or whatever, and he quickly went to the girl to usher her out of where they were because she couldn't get in there near him and Shay. So again, you're naming these times of him doing these things, but you've never said, but I left him because of it. It's like, and she's saying now that, because he keeps doing these things, it's like the only thing I have to do left to do is leave. Yes, leave him. Because if he does not respect you, if you don't feel respected, and he keeps doing things, why stay? And in my opinion, Shay stays because she likes the attention. Shay likes mess. Shay likes toxic shit. Shay also likes the fact that Alfonso is in the rap hip hop industry, and which makes her in that space too. So to me, she ain't gonna leave because she wants to be there, but she also wants to complain because she likes toxic shit. Did you notice Shay and Alfonso said his wife? I heard they got married, so they really waste their time being on the show. Gonna be 11 hip hop. I didn't hear that part. If they got married, cool. But I don't. I try my best not to listen to other shit, and I also feel like people say wife and husband or whatever, and they don't be married at all. So I don't know. But I also don't listen to spoilers because it's like I don't want the show ruined for me. So if y'all heard stuff that is on the show, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Let me find out on the show. Because I had not heard that. But again, Alfonso brings up how he hates seeing Shay hurts, and he laughs about these situations because it's him being nervous or whatever, and that's like his defense mechanism. And I'm like, so if you don't like seeing her hurt, then don't hurt her. Then don't hurt her. But again, you can't get with a man when you were one of his side people. You were one of his many. You then are with him, and then you want to consistently be from a place of, well, you must still be doing this and that and the other because that's what you used to do. Well, if you know that's what he does, then don't be with him. Girl, I cannot. So we know this episode, the couples be going on dates at the same time at the same locations. But they're not supposed to they're not supposed to like be worried about the other person. You're supposed to stay focused on your dates and your person and not be, worried about what the person don't be over there. Don't do that. And I was like, it's not gonna go well. But my question remains, how hot is it? Look how much Alfonso sweats. I'm like, how it can't be that hot. Is the air conditioner not on? This man is sweating bullets. Okay. It's like somebody put a fan behind him or in front of him or something. Like put some ice packs. I was like, that is a lot of sweat. That's a lot of sweat. But also I know on these sets, the lights make it hotter. So that could be it too. But I'm like, his whole shirt is soaked through. What is going on? What is happening? Okay. Sir, just stop it. Anyway, so in the car, we see kind of two arguments going on. Okay. We see Otis and Charlotte arguing or whatever because, and also Shay and Alfonso. But Otis is fussing because he still feel like, oh, Dr. Nicole was all on my head. It was all about me. You perfect or whatever. I'm like, sir, shut up. I feel like I would not care about any concern Otis has because Otis consistently comes off as an abuser. And until he can be respectful to anyone outside of himself, I don't care about nothing he has to say. I do not. And then Shay fussing with Alfonso about whoever was, girl, oh shit, that she ain't left him for. So again, she ain't too much, okay? So the first little foursome date, Otis and Milan, and then Charlena, and is his name Brent or Brett? I feel like that man's name is Brett. I do. Was it Brent? I don't know. Anyway, while we seen, Charlena and Otis talking at first the house or whatever, we then see Milan get there. And Charlena keeps saying how young she looks. He said that you look really young. And you do, you look so young. And I was like, girl, I mean, she do look young, but she don't look like, she looked like she's in her 20s. She don't look like a teenager. Um, but she looked like she's, like whatever. Anyway, Otis is like him saying it's gonna be Charlene who's gonna have an issue with being able to see me on my date. So in the car driving to the thing, whatever, Mulan asked Curtis, girl, who the fuck is Curtis? Mulan asked Otis, if they have like rules and boundaries or whatever, what they can and can't do, and if, so can y'all kiss or touch somebody else? He's like, well, we not really, whatever. Oh, well, can I kiss you? And he then said, you can try. I was like, oh my God. Otis is such a jerk to me because, had Charlena said that to somebody else and he would say, oh, you're a whore. I feel like he would have reacted horribly had she done that with anyone. So it kind of pissed me off. So they went to Yoga Glass. And at first we do see, Otis and Milan sitting around or whatever. But when Charlena and Brent walk in, honey, to me, Otis was affected. Okay, he was bothered because I think I don't think Otis feels like Charlena will ever leave him. And seeing her with another man, to me, he felt bothered and he felt affected, and he kind of didn't know what to do because he kept like watching and paying attention. Now, I also feel like Charlene kept saying little snack, Carmen, whatever. She kept referring to Mulan as Otis's daughter because she looked so young or whatever. And it was whatever. And then they did a little yoga and whatnot. And at the end of class, we see Otis comes up to Charlene and tries to kiss her. And she was like, no, I'm saying, I know your hand. No. You know what I'm saying? And I do think he did it to make it seem like hey, Brent, that's my girl. Okay. But it's like you did that as if you don't have your own whole date over there. And I was like, honey, I don't like Otis. I don't like him. He irks all my nerves. And it's weird that Mulan likes him so much. But again, he is a pretty package, with a dildo inside. A butt plug. Anyway, Shorty and Kimmy have a whole. Who the fuck is Kimmy? Shorty and Kenneth talk. It was a quick conversation to me. It's more about how she felt like, you have this whole mindset of this happy ever after. Okay. You don't want to take this process serious or whatever. You don't want to do what needs to be done to fix us. A part of that may be you taking these dates serious or whatever. You can't just feel like, I'm not going to really pay any attention to these things because I just want to be with you. And even though he said, well, you my everything, it's all about you. And her point is, you can't look at everything as if it's this whole happy ever after because you need to know there's a chance that we could break up. And I think in her head, she think that he think ain't no way they gonna be together. And she's like, you need to be prepared because that's a whole chance that may happen. So you need to be here around here and act accordingly. Okay, like take shit serious, whatever. Let's see. I wish Charla played it a bit cooler though. I do, because as much as I felt she kept her cool, she still showed her. I won't say jealous ways, but she still showed that she cared too. I just didn't think her facial expressions were as much as Otis's, but she did also, you know what I'm saying? Because when all girls in the house, the whole thing about how you look so young, like it was a bit like whatever. Charlie's oldest date don't look any younger than Charlie. Oh, where is that wrong one? There we go. On the show, I will say she looked younger than she does here. I do think Milan looked younger when they went to yoga than she does right here. See, right here, she only looked that young. She don't look old. She don't look old either. But I think in scene she did look a little bit younger. But I'm like not on the confession. Let's get to Shay, Alfonso, and they dates. And when I say I can't believe how much of a mess this became so fast, it's crazy to me. Shay is up at the house crying and getting teary eyed because she, has to see Alfonso on an actual date with somebody. And, he said, it was crazy seeing how hurt or how much it affected her because it made him realize how much she cares for him. And it's whatever. So we see Shay date is a Sar who's 39 years old. He brings up how women like him because he's attractive and he has his shit together. And he looks better in person than he did in this picture. Because on this picture he looked like a little lame. But he looked different on, in the scene or whatever. He brings up how Shay looks like his type. Okay. She looked like his type, but he also likes women who are open-minded and also intelligent. And I'm like, I'm not saying that ain't Shay. But I'm saying that Shay is also ghetto and hood and a goddamn mess. At first, Shay and Asar was having a whole good time, laughing, vibing, good time, okay? And then Alfonso walked in with his date. Alfonso's date is Tay Cherie, who was 41 from Detroit. When she said she's from Detroit, I said, no! Because I knew this was the woman who Shay got into it with. And I'm like, not someone from Detroit get into a fight with no. Okay. Anyway, I was like not from Detroit, but Tiara. I'm sorry, Tay Cherie is 41. She's from Detroit, but she now lives in Atlanta. And when they walked in to take a seat, she got pissed because when they walked in and took a seat, he did not talk to her or acknowledge her. He looked out. I was a ghost. And I was like, the whole point in this is supposed to be to not entertain, not give any attention to your person who's on a date. You walk in the same way you walk in. You don't talk to other people in the restaurant. Okay, so it wasn't even to me. It wasn't rude based on why we here. We not here to have a forcing date. We here for you to do your thing, whatever me do mine. Alfonso, like the point of being here is like, to matter on business. So he was strictly following the rules that Dr. Cole set forth. And Shay was pissed the millisecond that they walked in, she was pissed. And I feel like she was pissed because she seen him on a date smiling with another woman. And at this point, Alfonso and Tay Cherie are talking and chit-chatting at their little table, you know what I'm saying? And Shay at her table with Sar, she's no longer paying him any attention. She's strictly looking over there being upset, and she's pissed. She's pissed. And I'm like, he ain't even did shit yet. All he did was walk in and sit down, okay? Anyway, and as Tay Cherie is talking to Alfonso, Shay from across the room at the other table, what'd you say? What'd you say? And I'm like, no, she not talking to you. And she then said that because I heard her say something like, some fine so, and I didn't see her. I'm like, girl, if you heard her say some fine so, you knew damn well she wasn't talking to you. Shay 100% started this shit. Shay 100% was dead as wrong. Shay started an argument with somebody who gave her back the energy she was giving her. And I ain't saying, Tay Cherie wasn't wrong for entertaining the bullshit, but bitch, don't come at me and don't expect for me to get back at you. Because you sent out your mouth, I heard her say something fine, so what made you think that meant she was talking to you? What made you then say it from across the room? What'd you say? I thought, no. And she was like, no, I wasn't. And saying, had I been talking to you, I would have said something directly to you. And that's how the fight started, okay? At this point in time, Shay telling Alfonso, tell her to hush. I'm like, what, girl? And it was crazy because Alfonso sitting up there nervously laughing. And I felt like he was embarrassed because I think he knew exactly how Shay was going to act. You seen the dude Azar trying to calm Shay down because she's fooling. And he's like, it's okay. Come talk to me. And the fact that he was having to calm her down and not Alfonso was also crazy to me. It was whack that she did his old girl. Okay, old girl was definitely an East Side. First of all, don't come for us, East Side girls. Don't do that. Okay, I think anyone from Detroit, East or West, you can't come at anyone like that. Period. Because we don't play in Detroit at all. Okay, jealousy, jealous shade, therapy, complete therapy. And the crazy part is, Tay, like, I'm grown. I am super grown. I'm not for that bullshit. Whatever. It was back and forth foolishness, and I think everyone was expecting Shay to just stop, and Shay wouldn't stop. Tay Cherie wouldn't stop, but to me, Tay Cherie was just responding to the energy that Shay was putting out. This was all Shay's fault. That lady kept trying to disengage. She did, because the first thing she said was, "I was talking to you. If I was, I would have said something directly to you." And I'm like, that's what it is. And Shay wanted a fight, and I also feel like Shay wanted Alfonso to, like, this old girl, walk away from old girl and come on her side. And he just sat there and didn't do nothing. And the only reason I'm not gonna fault him for not doing it, because I really do feel like he was like, fuck, not again. Shay puts on this whole act of, he does all these things that hurt me. However, you up here acting a plumby fool for no reason. For no reason. Because as far as we saw, Tay Cherie didn't say shit out the way. She wasn't rude. She wasn't even talking to you. And you started with her. And I think Alfonso may be used to her doing that. And that may be why he does not introduce her to some people. Okay? Not saying he's innocent. Not saying he, has a right to keep her like a little secret or whatever. But I can feel by how he looked embarrassed. Like, oh, fuck, she finna fuss and fight in these people's thing. I can't believe this shit. And I think he was more embarrassed and did not know what to do. I'm from Detroit too, of more of him. See, look, I think I'm an East Side girl, and I think West Side is hood. I think each person think Detroit is hood in general. You know what I'm saying? Each area, whatever. But I know some hood West Side chicks, and I know some hood every side chicks. So I don't do the whole, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they must be from East Side. It's like, nah. If you from Detroit, you bought them. You bought that life. We bought that life. But she's very insecure. She's with her father for a lifestyle. I agree. It's just some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's bullshit upon bullshit of it all. But to me, I still blame Shay. I still feel like Shay kept that mouthpiece. I still feel like Shay wasn't trying to listen to anybody, because even a sub, like, I felt like I was in the middle. It was like a boxing match or whatever. And it wasn't until Shay and Afonso, all right, let's go. Let's leave. And then because she also bullshit Afonso. And so when he's walking towards the door and he assuming she's coming with him, she then walks towards Tay Cherie. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because there's no reason. Do you see how far away they were? They were at two completely different tables. So you get upset and start to that girl talking about how she said, oh, some Fonzo. She wasn't talking to you. And again, Fonzo is still in his seat. Tay Cherie up, Shay up, everybody up except her. Okay. Alfonso does the thing because Shay has repeatedly proven that she isn't going anywhere, no matter what he does. He's a effing. I'm gonna say it's a fuck boy, because women like Shay allow behavior with no consequence. This is true. This is true. This is all on Shay. I agree. I agree. There's not even an explanation, in my opinion, that you can give to say me giving the date this energy was correct, because it wasn't. And when she then walked up on Earl Girl, okay, and Earl Girl, oh, you gonna walk up? Oh, you gonna walk up? Okay, I will crack your head with a plate. Look, I will say this one thing for sure and two things that for certain. If you walk up on a Detroit chick, we're gonna grab whatever the closest to us and knock your ass out for sure. Okay, don't run up. Run up, get done up. Okay, that's what we say. And I think it was a point of Shay, because Shay started it. You started fussing with me. You then coming at me aggressively, walking over. Okay, bitch, I'm going to crack you over the head with a plate. Now, first of all, you can go to jail for that. You go to jail for that. But at the same time, sometimes we don't care. Girl, it's cameras around. It's cameras, and I think the plate will break too. But again, it was like, don't run up on me, okay? Because the old girl said, you ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna. I was like, I don't think she is. Um, he used to this and likes the chaos. They both do. And my thing, look. In my old age, I'm only 40. In my age, look, I cannot do drama and mess. It doesn't work well for my blood pressure. Okay, it's on bullshit. But look, do you see how Azar, Shay Day is the one in between them? But it's mainly because Alfonso was walking like out, and Shay bypassed him and went over there. And Azar, I'm assuming he saw it first. Now they're gonna fight. I gotta be the referee. I gotta get in between the two women. Okay, and I was like, yeah, we don't play in Detroit. We don't play at all. And I know there are other cities that doesn't play too, but I can only speak from Detroit. Okay, you can't run up on me and think I'm not gonna grab something to knock your ass out, because one, you started shit with me, okay, and now I'm on the defensive, okay, and I don't know what you got on you. Is you and your dude? I don't know you or him. Okay, how do I not know that y'all both ain't finna come get me? Okay, and this stupidness. Shay projected her anger on the girl instead of Alfonso, so he would pay attention to her and her, because she has to act up. Oh, she has to act up to get attention. She's like a 5-year-old. I completely agree. That is absolutely positive. That is a really good point. She had to cause chaos for attention. Because again, because Alfonso did not even give her the attention until she kept getting up and she would not stop. When they were sitting down and just kind of fussing back and forth, he still kind of wasn't, giving Shay the attention. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to, I guess, leave it be. But I was like, honey, foolishness. Alfonso low key was getting off on this chaos. You know what I'm saying? Not changing the subject, but are you gonna watch the verses? It would be yes, I am. And that's what it is. But again, it was a cliffhanger episode or whatever. And do I think she hit over the plate? No. Okay. Should she have done it? No. But I do think Shay needs somebody, because Shay tried to have this kind of same energy with his first date. Okay. It doesn't go this far. And this time, because, Tay Sheree was like, you ain't going to come at me, bitch. Not today. Okay. And I was like, honey, Shay's a mess. Alfonso's a mess. This show is a mess. Because y'all were finna fight up in the Benihana's. Okay. Over some shrimp and lobster. Okay. Over some rice. Okay. It's like, what, right. The assignment was to focus on your dates. And Alfonso did that as much as he could until the fight started. Okay. I wonder what would have happened if the play connected to Shay, because I don't think Shay really about that. Like, I don't want to condone violence. I don't. But so what I will say is, you can't run up on somebody with all that rah-rah shit. You know what I'm saying? No matter where they from, where you from, you can't, because everybody not, you know what I'm saying, gonna sit back and do nothing. And the quickness in which Tay Sheree easily grabbed that plate, like plate grab swing. I'm gonna knock your head off. And she's 41. So she's for sure from my era. And you know what I'm saying? Look, there are stories I could never tell because I would never incriminate myself. Okay. But people have to get, you can't be around here acting dumb with people. Okay. You was all the way over there. You was all the way over there. You was like 10 feet from me. You came in my face. No, bitch, I'm going to crack you. Because you are in my face. You're in my space. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, y'all, that was, let's see, Che. It's hella whack for this. She act way too pressed and embarrassing herself over a man that goes on vacation with your mama and lies about it. I agree. Shay is big and bad until she meets someone bigger. That's life. Truth. Truth. Complete truth. But that was the whole episode, y'all. Y'all know I will be live tonight. Right after the verses goes off is Mary versus BB and CC Winan. So I will be live for the after chat, the after show chit chat. So it'll be between 10:30 and 11:30. But y'all know once the verses ends, once the verses goes off, come on over to my channel to have a good little time, good little kiki. Y'all know it'll be short, it'll be about 30 minutes or whatever. So don't be late. It's gonna be a good time. Happy Resurrection Sunday, y'all. I will be live tomorrow for something Transfer related. I have still watched last night's episode. I have not watched it yet. There's so much going on. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy. Okay, my Ready to Love, Put a Ring on It TV chit chat show. Okay, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Okay, also follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner because it's a thing to do. Okay, tonight after verses, come on over to me. But thank y'all for being here. I always have a good time with y'all going live and chatting about the shit. Okay, other than that, I gotta go. Love you all. Peace. Bye.